coming. I've seen it all from the start. I know all your secrets. I know all your lies.
Hey guys, BB Truth here. Military planes in Ohio? What the heck? I just saw 4 of them. The first one looked like a Black Hawk type style helicopter, and then these 3 guys came after. Very weird. Is anybody else seeing these in their state? This is twice I've heard them fly over, but the first time was earlier this morning. I couldn't get video because I didn't get there in time, but yeah, they're just way too loud to be normal helicopters, so I ran in the window. Alright guys, I don't know. Let me know if you've seen any of these in your state. Be safe. Much love. Sub and bell. BB Truth. Bye-bye.
You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who the f*** are you to tell me what to do? I don't give a if you say you disapprove. I'm gonna make my move, I'm gonna make it soon. And I'll do it cause it's what I wanna f***ing do. Cause all these opinions and all these positions, they come in millions, they blocking your vision. But no, you can't listen, that shit is all fiction. Cause you hold the power as long as you're driven.
There's no way that you make it. And maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Are you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Are you just gonna take that? Or will you fight back? Fight back. You ain't gonna make it, you ain't never ever gonna break it. You can never beat them and they're better than you face it. Thinking that they're giving it, you're not think a straight kid. No, they don't give it, you got what I'm saying? I'm not playing, I'll give it to you straight, man. There's too many others and you're not that great, man. Stop what you're saying, stop what you're making. Everybody here knows that you just faking. Nah, I don't wanna hear it anymore, I don't wanna hear it anymore. All these thoughts, they are not what I need anymore. I'm about to shut the fuck up door on all you poor haters with your heads in the clouds. Talking out loud so proud, you better shut your mouth before I do more speak out. It's about to head south. Never gonna make it. There's no way that you make it. And maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Are you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Are you just gonna take that? Or will you fight back? Fight back.
the Jade Helm videos,
is that
a lot of them are saying about Walmart closings. When the first of the Walmart closings started, they started talking about how they were putting fences around them and making them into federal camps, and people were hearing booming noises right before they did that at the one in Ohio. And I've been living in Blythewood here for the last year now, and I've been hearing booming noises, and that's been kind of frightening me, because when I heard one of the videos in the Ohio one saying that they heard booming noises, that showed that they were talking about building underground places. And there's been so many of these Walmarts being closed down and turned into these federal facilities and closed off. And when they take a Walmart from a town, that this is the only store that these people have to get everything from. There's only one other grocery store that's in this town. So why would you close down a grocery store that everybody, all these old people get their medicine from? That just says a lot. And I kind of feel like it's because we're a bunch of country folks out here, so we're not going to like put a big old protest. And a lot of the people, when I talk to them out here, a lot of them don't know about Jade Helm, and they're not familiarized with a lot of the stuff. A lot of people say it's conspiracy theory stuff, but if you go to these other Walmarts and then you see what they're doing out in the West Coast, why is the federal government buying all this property out in the West Coast? The West Coast is one who's been fussing and fussing about it, and the East Coast just has been blind to it, and the media is truly being blind to it. Although there has been episodes where they've had some media people report on it, and then they got hushed up, very hushed up. And there's been reports of media people being hushed up as soon as they reported about it. So I take that fear of anybody that does report about it, and because I mean the federal government's just so powerful. And my only scare is that we were so blind during Nazi Germany, and we allowed and we listened to the media. And what I've always told people, media sometimes breeds ignorance, and that's exactly what the Nazis, that's what happened. They believed what Hitler was telling them, and right now we believe everything the federal government feeds to us. They tell us we're going to get free food if we do this. We go and rush to it. They tell us things, and then we just run to it. And I'm just really worried about this community, because this community is a poor community. They're not that rich of a community to lose a store that is so significant for this community, and the federal government to take over stuff like that, it's just wrong. And we were blind during the concentration camps. They didn't really notice anything until they smelt bodies burning, and then they still didn't really fight anything.
You think this store closing is connected to that? To the federal? You think it has a federal government connection?
Well,
or you're just concerned that it might?
Well, with the fact that I've been hearing booming noises in this area for the last 6 months, I'm scared. And with the fact that it being a store that's in a community where it's the only store that people grocery shop at. There's only one other grocery store here, Bilo. That's it. They don't have no other grocery stores here. Why would you close a store that has significant amount of customers? You can't go here any day without this parking lot being full. And so you can't tell me that this is not a lucrative store. It's definitely a lucrative store. So why would they be selling it or closing it down? I mean, there's just no way. And
your answer to that question is?
I feel the federal government's taking over stuff. I really truly feel, and that's the only reason why that's my only reason why this store would have to close down, is something to do with the federal government. They used the plumbing on some of those Walmarts in the past, and that hit the big media that some of them were closed just because of plumbing reasons. And none of them closed down over plumbing reasons. They all stayed closed, and they all ended up turning into some type of secretive things with fences around them.
News Watchman here. Just about to bring you an update with the Walmarts. They're emptying their garden centers. The garden centers are completely empty. They got all these cages and wires and bars and stuff all up here. They got this big old entrance thing. See, it's completely empty. Completely empty. Just a few plants inside there. And they try to say that this is all has to do with COVID-19 because they're empty. They're lying. There's no way that COVID-19 affects plants. Look at this door they got right here. That's to bring people in and out, to check people in and out, man. Walmarts are built just like prisons. This is crazy, man. I hate Walmart. Lord, have vengeance on Walmart. Look what they're doing to us. They're gonna lock us all up in here. You better get ready, people. You're gonna get put inside a Walmart FEMA camp. News Watchman, I'm out. News Watchman here again. I found all these little gates and stuff where they're gonna be putting them up. Look, they're storing them on the side right here. All these gates right here, man. What are they gonna do with all these things? They're gonna corral people is what they're gonna do. They're gonna corral people just like cattle into this gate, into this cage right here. This cage where you can't get out, man. All they have to do is put a little bit of wire on top, right up there. All they gotta do is put a little bit of wire on top, and they can lock us all in here, man. And they got a Walmart in every neighborhood. Every single neighborhood there's a Walmart. Everywhere you look is Walmart. Oh man, I'm so angry right now. What they're gonna do to us? Look, another door. Another door. Look, secured door. They don't even have a damn, they don't even have a knob on it. How do you get in that door? You can't. There's no knob on it. There probably ain't no knob from the other side. It's probably gonna be some kind of key card system or something that they get in and out. This is crazy, man. Look at that. It's totally empty. Totally empty. I love y'all, man. I'm praying for y'all. Y'all get prepared for what's about to happen, guys. This is News Watchman. I'm out.
Monday night, Walmart stores across the country suddenly closed, supposedly a result of plumbing problems, they said. Tonight, Hillsborough County Commissioner, who worked with Walmart for years, says he has plenty of questions. ABC Action News investigator Adam Walser joins us live with what he's learned. Adam?
Well, Brenton, in Midland, Texas, which until Monday was home to one of the top 10 busiest Walmart stores in the country, the city building official told me his plumbing inspector was sent away when he offered to help secure permits. While the company claimed to have plumbing problems, a longtime employee of a tax service located in that store said she never saw a plumber or an out-of-order restroom in 3 years. Now, this was the scene at the Brandon Walmart Monday night during a 5-hour store closing sale. That store pays more than $243,000 a year in Hillsborough County ad valorem taxes and collects many times that amount in sales tax revenues. The store appeared to have been fully stocked with perishables when the sudden closure was announced. Fresh cut flowers were on hand at the Tulsa store. The I-team has learned that no plumbing permits have been pulled in any of those cities. Permits in Midland, Texas showed that 70 plumbing fixtures were just replaced in an 8-week period 3 years ago. That store never closed during the renovation. Hillsborough County Commissioner Victor Chris says Walmart officials didn't even mention plumbing issues when they reached out to him to inform him that 400 people would lose their jobs.
It's really too early to tell whether or not there were mistakes made or there's issues to be held accountable for. But we're going to watch, we're going to look, we're going to listen, and we're going to make the appropriate steps if we see anything that is wrong.
Every official I spoke to said this week's action was extremely unusual for Walmart, which always notifies officials ahead of renovation plans and normally seeks permits weeks in advance. I'm my team investigator Adam Walser taking action for you.
like to call to order this secret conclave of America's media empires. We're here to come up with the next phony baloney crisis to put Americans back where they belong, in dark rooms glued to their televisions, too terrified to skip the commercials.
Well, I think...
NBC, you are here to listen and not speak. I think we should go with a good old-fashioned public health scare.
A new disease. No one's immune. It's like the summer of the shark, except instead of a shark, it's an epidemic. And instead of summer, it's all the time.
That is smoking.
Now, I hate to be the guy who derails what everybody else loves.
He loves being that guy.
But, Janice, we do have standards. This can't be a made-up disease. The only moral thing to do is release a deadly virus into the general public.
We do have something we've been holding on to, but it hasn't been tested. Get over here, NBC.
Well, we certainly believe in testing, but Wow. Oh, yeah.
So, we've got our deadly disease. Now, we just have to blame it on something that's in every household, something that people are a little bit afraid of already. House cat flu is coming, people. The Center for Disease Disinformation predicts with some degree of probability that the house cat flu might spread in the following hypothetical outbreak pattern. So petter beware, that warm body on your lap just might be ready to destroy your tender fiddles. Springfielders are advised to stay tuned for more information if they experience any of the following symptoms: mild thirst, occasional hunger, tiredness at night.
Modular wire partitions are an excellent solution for numerous commercial applications, including tool crib enclosures, server cages, and security partition fencing. This simple design consists of stacking and bolting wire mesh panels to heavy-duty posts to create a security partition or caged enclosure. Standard panels are stocked in heights of 4 feet and 5 feet high and widths of 1 foot to 10 feet wide. These panels can be assembled in a single run or configured as 2, 3, or 4-sided cages with optional roofs for additional security. There is a wide selection of doors, including single hinge doors, double hinge doors, Dutch doors, sliding doors, forklift gates, and service windows with a variety of lock options. Partition heights normally come in 8, 10, or 12 feet high, but can be engineered up to 30 feet high. A range of colors from standard gray to blue, beige, yellow, orange, red, and white are also available. For more information or to get a quick price quote, call us at 1-800-803-1083 or email us at info@southwestsolutions.com.
Back underneath the bridge, and they were loading up with as many people. It's got to be dozens of people in the back of that thing. Gosh. They take them to a nearby Walmart, and then the Walmart is where I guess Metro buses or school buses will take them to the shelter. The question is, what shelter are they taking them to? Because I heard Tom say GRB is overcrowded or not overcrowded, but at the capacity they had planned for. So I think they're, gosh, I certainly have that question. I don't know if we've answered it.
But that's what you mean when you say disorganized organization, because there is at least some kind of system. I mean, earlier we've seen reporters have situations where people come out of water like this, and it's late at night, and they're wet, and with their children and their pets, and they really have nowhere to go. At least they have a system where they're taking them to a Walmart where they can be inside and wait and figure out what comes next.
Absolutely. I think the people I talked to, all, with the exception of one, they all were eager to go wherever the truck would take them. Interestingly enough, hours ago, as dusk set in, the Coast Guard helicopters and the National Guard helicopters had pulled away. I hear one. There's no way we can see it. It's too far off, but I heard it pass over, a military helicopter. I had talked to a sheriff's deputy earlier. They said they had a quadriplegic who was stuck in his home and obviously needed immediate rescue.
I was pulled to the side road, which was a new cut gravel dirt road in front of a business, a builder supply business, actually top-notch builder supply in Madison, Georgia. To my right, this was previously was a soybean field, and this little new cut road divided this field, and the right side of the road was filled with which I thought was portable toilets. I never looked at them that close. Same in color, maybe black, but which was an odd color. And I was sitting there going over my notes, and a van pulled alongside of me that turned out to be the property owner. And he greeted me, and he was by himself, and so we had a good little dialogue there, and I asked him about the field of black boxes. What were they? Because I'd never seen anything like that, and his statement was that if he told me, I would be one of few people in Madison, Georgia that knew about them. And he says they're disposable coffins, I believe he told me. And he says there's 100, at that time he said there was 125,000 there. And they were stacked, he told me 15 high. I asked him who owned them, and he stated that the CDC owned them and that they were leasing his land for storage. And he said his brother worked with the CDC in Atlanta and had been asked by the CDC to do a 3-year extension to place temporary morgues all across the nation.
Yeah, it's reported that there is a prison next to Chechen city, Argun.
And how did the people come to be in those camps?
Well, they are just taken by some militants, by unknown people, put in the car and taken away.
Is there a way to verify the testimonies that you're getting from the people who got in touch with you? And is it men and women, or is it just men?
Well, right now we have information only about men, but it doesn't mean that there are no women in such situation, first of all. And another thing regarding verification, I believe that it's not like the business of small NGO to go to Chechnya and to investigate this case. This is the responsibility of the law enforcement agencies, and this is a big question why there is still no reaction at all from the Russian authorities, from the responsible organizations.
Or from, I mean, the Chechen leaders we can go back to, and Yuri, I'll bring you in here, because this story really began, I suppose, about 10 days ago. We began hearing of possibly gay men being rounded up.
Yes, and as for the law enforcement agencies, can I remind you that Novaya Gazeta, they didn't reveal any name, saying that this is too dangerous for the people still there in Chechnya, and they will only hand over the information, the personal data about the people who can be persecuted there in Chechnya, to the investigative committee of Russia. And then if the investigative committee of Russia would not react, the author of the article in Novaya Gazeta, Elena Milashina, has said if they won't react, they will turn to the prosecutor's office and they demand some action. But there is, as far as I understand from Svetlana's words, there is no action so far.
Because with the Chechen authorities that I was reading, when these allegations of men being rounded up was put to them, they said there's actually no gay people in Chechnya.
No, exactly, yes, they denied everything, but they denied it in the way that tells quite a lot. So may I quote the spokesman for the president of Chechnya, head of Chechnya, Ramzan Kadyrov, Alvi Karimov, who said if such people existed in Chechnya, law enforcement would not have to worry about them at all, since their relatives would take care of them, or what he said, to send them
away, I think, yeah.
To where they want to come back from.
And what about Russia? Have they spoken out?
No, as far as I know, not about the Moscow authorities or whoever. You know, the situation is, everybody knows it, that in Russia, the Chechnya is at the moment a state within a state, and
we're talking about FEMA camps, and they're rounding up homosexual men.
2 years and 1 month ago. One of the suspects or suspected organizer of the crimes were one of the officers close, allegedly close to Ramzan Kadyrov. That was a certain Geremeyev, and the law enforcement from Moscow wanted to question him or detain him. They were not allowed to, simply not allowed to do that.
Svetlana, the people that have spoken to you, they managed to escape from the camps, and how did that happen?
Yes, some of them managed to escape from the camp. Some of them are just telling stories about their friends who got missing, and some of them even managed to go out of Chechnya, to go out from this region, and they're telling different stories. In some cases, we don't know why people were released. Sometimes there is information about bribes, quite a big amount of money, and sometimes those homosexual men, they are released and given to their family members, and it was expected that their family members would kill them themselves, because there is such thing as honor killings in Chechnya. It's considered to be a huge stigma, homosexuality.
Let's leave it there. Thank you very much for speaking to us. Svetlana Zakharova, Communications Manager for the Russian LGBT Network, and also my colleague Yuri Vendik from BBC Russian.
We're just getting an idea for the size of these boxes. What could these boxes be used for? Well, they're called casket liners. And that's an interesting term, isn't it? It's a casket liner. When I first heard the term casket liner, I thought perhaps a lining for a casket. But this is too big to be on the inside of a casket. So certainly this could be used as a casket. This is an inexpensive casket. And you can see the size here. There's lots of room. I think my friends here, we could all probably get inside, and it might be a little cozy, but we'd fit just fine. Which tells me that these liners can be used for more than just one. And one more time, what kind of liners are these?
Casket liners.
These are casket liners.
That's what the man said.
That's what the man told us. And we're told that there are about, well, there were about 500,000 out here.
Later, as I went back to my home office, I spoke of it there, and of course people usually don't want to hear too much about this kind of thing. So it's never been mentioned, publicly, except just here and there, because most, like I said, the reaction I got, people didn't want to know about it, the few people that I spoke to, and so I just dropped it. And till I went to a luncheon, a fundraiser for Representative Saxby Chambliss. He was running for his second term for the U.S. House of Representatives. And it was a crowd, probably 100, maybe 150. It was congressmen, senators, state senators, and mayors. There was one table we probably had 2 3-star generals and a couple of 1-star with their spouses. So it was a real high-powered meeting. But the keynote speaker was a congressman, and I don't remember his name. He had just been in the House for a long time, and he was the chairman of the Armed Services Committee. And so he just spoke in behalf of Representative Chambliss and the importance of having him on board to be reelected due to our threats. But it had to do with the nuclear devices that was missing from the old Soviet Union and that had gotten into terrorist hands, and it was, the emphasis was on the critical state that we face in this country, and he said we could lose tens of millions of people in the next decade, and he used those terms, due to a nuclear strike on U.S. soil. And I was sitting there, and it became very clear to me that that could very well explain why just weeks, I mean could be 2 to 3 weeks prior to that meeting, that I had stumbled upon these, at that time, 125,000 disposable liners or caskets or coffins or whatever that could be termed as in that soybean field in Madison, Georgia.
Did you catch what he said, friends? At this high-powered meeting, it was in Perry, Georgia, near Robins Air Force Base, the largest employer in the state of Georgia, Robins Air Force Base. The chairman of the Armed Services Committee was the keynote speaker. The chairman of the Armed Services Committee, whoever that may be, used to be Sam Nunn of Georgia, from the district I was born and raised in. Whoever that chairman is generally one of the most powerful men in Washington. And I can't remember the chairman's name at that time myself, but he said, this was in the year 2000, I believe, that in the next 10 years, possibly due to nuclear strikes, tens of millions of people could lose their lives. And we've just read what our prophet said. Now, what we've just seen is one United States city outside, this is Atlanta, it has a metropolitan population area of roughly 4 million people. So this is one field outside of one U.S. city, and the brother of the man that owns this field, that the government is leasing this field from to store these disposable coffins, this brother was given 3 years to set up temporary morgues around the country. Now, we found the website that we think these disposable coffins were made at, and we noticed that the lids that they're advertising on the website were rounded. But the lids, hundreds of thousands of lids there, the lids we found, folks, were flat, and they were reinforced. You know what that could mean? You can stack them on top of each other. That's a lot neater to stack them in disposable coffins than what we saw after the tsunami, when we would see bulldozers digging holes and taking bodies and pushing bodies into holes. America can stomach this much better.
It's hard to miss 60,000 pounds and 13 feet tall. The bulletproof armored vehicle is a hand-me-down from the military. It's part of a program where surplus military equipment is given to local law enforcement agencies.
It's simply a way to move our officers around in a protected environment.
Not allowed to go. So put your mask back up, please, mate. Mask on? Mate, put your mask on. You've got to go back inside.
I'm trying to go for fresh air, man.
Yeah, I get that, man, but...
It's been 7 days, man.
Yeah, but you're meant to be inside, right? It's not safe for you to be going outside.
I'm negative at the moment.
That's fine, mate. I get
Why
that.
would I stay inside when people really don't know how positive?
I get that you said that you're negative, but you can't be walking around the building. You need to go back upstairs, you need to go back to your room. Okay?
First is my house, one.
We need to go back to your house then.
Two, I'm trying to go for fresh air. Literally, I've been stuck in the house for 7 days now.
I know,
And
I
I'm
know.
negative. You guys actually, it's going to be more cases, literally. There's positive people here.
And I get that you're saying that you're negative, but the whole building, regardless of who's negative and who's positive, is in lockdown.
So you guys
need to go
aren't
back
even
to your
taking the
house.
people that are positive out of the building.
This building is in complete lockdown. No one's going in or out.
And I just want you guys to see something here real quick. Everybody talks about a food shortage, and I agree with you. It seems to be happening more and more. Now, in my opinion, you're going to see it at a Walmart before you see it anywhere else. I'm opening some of the doors because it is hard to see, but there is nothing in these coolers. I mean, you have a few cartons of milk. Over here, all the cheese is pretty much gone. So, in my opinion, This is a very, very, very bad sign. Because again, I think it's going to hit your Aldis and your Walmarts first. That's all the shopping. That's where all the low-income shopping happens. So then now, when people see this, they're going to filter into the bigger supermarkets, the higher-end supermarkets, and you're going to end up with nothing. Is get out, do some shopping, make sure that you are prepared. Everybody talks about don't panic buy, don't panic. I'm not telling you to panic buy. I'm telling you to prepare. Too many people in this world today react instead of preparing. If you prepare, you need no reaction. While everybody else is running around crazy, you can be sitting at home, safe, not having to worry about where you're going to get food. Let all the idiots who don't pay attention to what's going on and would rather find out who the bachelor's going to marry do all the running around and the fighting for the food.
The systems can work in harmony with existing government contact tracing apps. When a vaccine becomes available, your official vaccination status can also be displayed within your health passport. You can even keep a diary of your international travel and events you have attended. Health Passport Ireland can be linked to existing secure medical systems if required, for example at your GP or hospital.
So in my experience, one of the greatest obstacles we have for growth is cash. Everything in my experience, and again, I'm speaking of my experience as somebody who ran a logistics company, COD is still 97% of all transactions. So there is, there is a way of doing business here, which is cash driven, which still has not been disrupted to eliminate cash because of what I talked about earlier, which is behavior. Changing behavior is a really tough thing to do. And I think the next big win will be disrupting this cash business, because in spite of this, e-commerce has grown in leaps and bounds, even with this obstacle of cash on delivery. So I think that's something that digital economy, the innovation going forward, and how do we eliminate cash is definitely something that's going to, catapult the ecosystem here for sure.
Yes, please, Raghib.
I just can't help just jump in every time George speaks. I couldn't agree more, and that's why I said I think it's the evolution of cash. Joy, I have some figures which I actually was just looking at just 2 days back. So just give us a sense of what might be happening. But before I get there, I don't know how many people know, they all think cash is for free. Cash costs between 25 basis points to 150 basis points in every single economy around the world. Now, when you're growing your economy at 4% and you have a cost base of just putting in printing cash, this is the actual physical side of it. The fact that they're not included because they're using cash is a separate aspect of why economies don't grow in there. So that itself, if you were to eliminate, is the sort of value you create.
I sorry to interrupt you, but I agree with you 100% on what you're saying. But I can tell you that there needs to be a disruption in fintech. This is the region that, people always say to me, well, is there opportunity here? Absolutely, there's opportunity in the Middle East. Absolutely, and the biggest opportunity is in fintech, because this is the area that needs disruption. If you can disrupt people feeling more comfortable not to use cash, then you are going to evolve here as the next unicorn, because that is the magic sauce. Because the banking industry, again, and I say this with respect, has a lot of rules and regulations that cause you, not to be dramatic, but to cause you to have your hands tied. So you want to grow, but yet, this is something that needs to change. And I think that this is something that everybody is focusing on. Fintech, the banking sector, how do you disrupt this region? And I'm excited about it because I think it's like a ripe fruit picked, you know, when you see a fruit on the tree ripening, just ready to be picked. And like I said earlier, despite all of these things, e-commerce is still booming in this region of the world. Imagine. So I'm excited about it. And as an investor myself, whenever I see something in fintech, I'm always excited to hear it because I've experienced it and I know how exciting and how lucrative this aspect can be. And I'm sure that you would agree with me, Raghu, you know, that eliminating cash will definitely boost the economy.
I agree. I totally agree with her.
You to know this Black Friday, you can sleep in.
All over the region. Retailers are calling this their 149,000 stores offering sales in the cash sales changing hands. Starting in New York. Visit the stores. The flu season is off to its earliest start.
Appears to be a previously unknown variant of the flu, suspected case catching many experts off guard.
Today I was feeling like maybe
Back on the breaking news, leading with unconfirmed reports of a smallpox outbreak
is a highly rehearsed scenario.
And National Guard units converging on a hospital in central
Manhattan.
Manhattan.
Closed.
Smallpox is a very real
more
danger.
deaths than AIDS, more than Ebola.
Let me stop you there. This is not a panic situation.
An entire American city was
known as the Green Poison, Central Park has been converted to a mass burial ground.
Power outages, gas line leaks, fires. The government.
We're expecting another night of widespread looting.
The people of New York are begging.
What would have?
Any available units. Fire and house to the Our first responders are either dead
No resources available.
or treated like animals.
It's not a job. We're not trained for that.
Man, I find it funny when they're wishing you the best. Hate on your success, act like nothing's wrong, like we're all best friends. Anybody real left world got me numb, but I bet that you feel this is just a game to me. Everybody sounding like the same thing to me. Everybody living fake cause they're paid to be. I'll be the realest one that you'll ever pay to see. Just wait and see.